Wednesday night, and that means it's time for the Lamar Thomas Show, featuring the greatest receiver in the history of college football. Just ask them, Lamar Thomas.
I was born in Ocala, Florida. I moved to Gainesville to go to high school. Been recruited probably since the 9th grade, illegally, I might add, by the University of Florida. I still can remember Coach Solinger, Don Solinger, coming out to our practice one day. Here it is, this guy comes out in the University of Miami jacket, and I said, I can't believe that's Miami out here. And, you know, I wanted to go up and say, hey, I'm Lamar Thomas. And actually, I did walk up to him and I said, hey, Coach, I'm Lamar Thomas. And he said, I know. And that was the start of my relationships with the University of Miami.
Patton, another good block, and Toretto lays it out. Touchdown, Miami!
You come down here, you'll be on TV every weekend, dominating. I thought about it. I said, man, where do I sign? My mom, on Saturday mornings, I would wake up and she'd be holding my hand. I thought she was the weirdest lady in the world. But she was holding my hands and she would be rubbing them and saying, one day these hands are gonna make you a lot of money. She was smart.
So now, here he is, the great one, along with co-host Gary Ferman of CaneSport.com, Lamar Thomas.
Good evening, LT.
Hello, Gary Ferman.
Happy Thanksgiving. Let's get our little turkey up there in the corner for you, just to give us a little Thanksgiving flavor tonight on the Lamar Thomas Show. A lot of eating in store for tomorrow. Hopefully not by Miami Hurricanes football players, though. We'll talk about that in a minute, because I remember 2017 when they went up there and had a big Thanksgiving feast the night before a Friday game up there at the hotel in Pittsburgh, and the next day did not go very well. But let's welcome everybody back to the Lamar Thomas Show on a Wednesday night, pre-Thanksgiving LT show. And, the tonight's show, once again, is presented by Caneswear, your ultimate headquarters for all your Miami Hurricanes merchandise needs. Got to make sure we mention them because it is Black Friday this Friday. And, man, if there's a day to have a love affair with Caneswear, it is Black Friday. And, you can go by the store, 2655 South University Drive in Davie. You can visit them at caneswear.com 24/7, 365 if you can't go to the store. And they have just about everything. I mean, you see the store in the background behind myself and LT. Neither one of us is physically in the store tonight, but that is Caneswear, and we'll show you a little bit more Caneswear later in the show. And usually LT's in the store.
Yes.
But he's not there tonight because he was a good daddy, and he took his family to Disney World today. How about that? And they look like they're having such a great time. And
3 days, Gary. 3 days.
3 days. You went to Disney three straight days, huh?
Disney, Epcot, what was that? Wilderness thing, the adventure. I don't know what it was. Well, we saw a safari, and then we went all over the place. We went everywhere. We did everything. It was fun. It was fun, and we stayed in the Contemporary, where the monorail goes through that. So it was, and obviously we got to see all the characters and see them eat breakfast, all that good stuff. I you know what, I wanted my kids to say, you know what, my old daddy took care of us this time.
And did they? Were they happy?
They
Did you
were
get
very.
did you get a few hugs?
I got hugs and kisses and high fives, and everybody was happy. So I'm happy. I'm Dad of the Year right now, so I'm good. I'm good.
All right. Well, hopefully you'll be happy around 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon when the Hurricanes get done in Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. I'm getting ready to head up there, and man, it's gonna be a little chilly.
A little nippy, Gary. A little nippy.
I'm
Nippy.
thinking, man, thank God I got some thermals in my closet. I got my gloves ready. I got my thermals ready. I got my jacket ready. I'm gonna layer up, LT, and I'm gonna walk into Heinz Field on Saturday morning about 9 o'clock, like I own the damn place.
Go ahead, Gary. Do your thing, baby.
And,
But be warm.
Yeah, I'm walking like I own the place, and hopefully I'll be walking out like I own it too, because this is a big one, LT.
Yep.
It's year 4 of Mario,
Mm-hmm.
and it's time. It's been time, and
Yeah.
they had the stumbles in the middle of the season, not great, but they are alive in both the ACC race
Yep.
and in the race to get to the college football playoff. And it's complicated as hell. I mean, you ain't ever seen anything like it. I might as well just put this on the screen.
Throw it up.
I might as well just throw this up and freak everybody out right now, LT. I mean, would you guys look at this? Okay. This is the official ACC version of what Miami needs to get to the ACC championship game. Okay. Now, you'll notice the first part of every line starts with win. Okay. You don't beat Pittsburgh, you're not doing anything. Okay.
Yep.
You're not going to the ACC championship game. You're not going to the college football playoff. And you're probably going to the Pop-Tarts Bowl again, or maybe the Gator Bowl. And you're going to be watching everybody else in that 12-team college football playoff. So it all starts with a win, LT. But, I mean, would you look at this? Like, there's got to be a better way. Like, there has to be.
Hey, you know what? Again, Gary, can't cry with spilled milk. You should have won those games. They were against two good opponents. Didn't lose by much, but we lost. And so you got to win out. That's what we've been saying since 3 weeks ago. You got to win out. And everybody says, you listen to the procrastinators and all those people talking about it has to be a pretty win, or it has to meet the eye test. I get it, but I just say win. And right now, this is a game that, unfortunately, last game of the season, we haven't been to going to Pitt, going to Syracuse last year. We haven't been able to pull it out. So this is an opportunity for us to, Mario, to do something that we haven't done in a long time. Let's win this thing out and get an opportunity to, you never know how things shape up. Maybe the ACC championship, but most importantly, the college football playoffs. So that's what I'm hoping for. But like you said earlier, you got to win out, and you did a outstanding job of beating the Virginia Tech team that, again, probably played one of the best games they played in a long time. So they were able to do some things against us. They rushed for a lot of yards. They had some passes they caught, brought in a different quarterback. I mean, they did all kind of things. But that's to be expected from a team that new coach in the house. They're trying to impress. Those players are trying to impress. They get the coach from Penn State. He's there now. Old coach is trying to impress. I mean, it's a lot of things going on, but those kids are trying to do their best to show the new coach that, hey, I can play. So, and the crowd was pumped up. Your new coach is there. He's from a bigger program, Penn State. He won some games there. Now you're looking at a guy that's constantly has won 10 games. He never could get over that hump 10, 11, 12, but he was a 10-game winner. That's what they're hoping to bring to their program to give them back some respectability. I mean, you think about it. That's what Mario came here for. Now he's past that. We got the 10 wins, or we got 10 wins last year. We want more. That's what happened.
So Chris Brown, he looked at that whole list of all the different options.
Yeah.
And he says, so you're saying there's a chance? There's a chance. There's a lot of chances.
And a lot of teams are playing. I mean, hell, last week, Utah got lucky. I mean, they came back. There were some things happened last week that could have put us in an even better situation. But some of those teams play each other. We need some scenarios where teams don't play well. I mean, but again, you gotta take care of your own business. That's the most important. You get caught up in what somebody else's house, inside somebody else's house, and you ain't paying attention to your house. Somebody could be sneaking in your back door. So you gotta take care of your own business.
The weird thing though is, how do you define taking care of your own business? Mario's been resisting. He's been resisting the whole style
Right.
points
I
thing.
mean, he's an old lineman. He's an old lineman. He ain't got no damn
Yeah,
style. He
but
just learned how to dress. His wife probably dressed him. I saw him in college. The motherfucker, he couldn't dress. So yeah, he doesn't know what style is. But everybody, it's just get the ball to the playmakers, let them do their thing. And I love what our offensive coordinator's been doing over the last couple of weeks. He's been changing things up. We got some different plays in there. Guys are getting touches that hadn't gotten touches. They're still trying to, we're getting the ball to Malachi Tony. Other receivers are stepping up. Marion is stepping up. You got Pringle who's doing his thing. And by the way, Pringle, the potato chips, if you're listening, you need to give this boy some money. Okay. Guys are stepping. And we even saw a tight end flash. How about that touchdown play on the switch route?
Second game in a row.
Yeah. So, things are happening different. He's doing some different things. It's not the same old thing we saw in the SMU game. He's changed, and it's been for the better because we got a chance to put some points up with this defense who is playing well. Again, they gave up some yards last week, but I still think we're in the top 5, maybe top 3 in defenses in the country, statistically, even with what Virginia Tech was able to do. So when you're able to score some points like we did last year, but play defense behind it, it makes the job a lot easier.
Yeah. So, Notre Dame puts up 70 on Syracuse.
Yeah.
That's a style point.
That is. They got this.
That's a style point on.
That's
a style point on steroids, Lamar. But Rashad Mitchell, he says that Miami has to win by at least 14 points to clinch a college football playoff spot. That would be a style point.
That would be a style point.
But that's going to be easier said than done this weekend when you factor in all the different things. And we'll talk about the Pitt game later in the show. But there's going to be a lot going on there between the weather, a Pitt team that is playing well, that has found some good young players that are performing for it. They're scoring a ton of points. They're averaging like 36 points a game. There's a lot of hurdles and a lot of challenges in this game. My thing is just win. You just win. Just win. I don't know that you can go up there worrying about style points.
No, because here's the thing. You mess around, and this is what college football is going to come to. I believe if it's about style points, people are going to be piling on points or trying to. You mess around, and now you're trying to pile on points. You're giving the team an opportunity to get 1 or 2 plays, an interception or 2. And change as we saw before, an interception against SMU changed the game. We were trying to pile on points and put more points on, and it literally changed the game. So, I like I said before, I think that because the outcome of what could happen, I hope it doesn't happen, but what could happen, teams are going to start in the near future, next year, just trying to pile on as many points as they can. Because they want style points, if that's going to be. But I still say head to head, it's somebody beat you up in your beat you up pretty good. I mean, you don't want to fight them no more. You rather go the other way. So, and that's what happened to I'm not going to say who it was, but they got beat up pretty bad. They came back. They had a Hail Mary one in the later rounds, but the fight was over. The fight was over. I'm not going to say who they are.
Don't say who they are. No, you don't want to do that. All right. So you touched on some of these things. Let's talk about it. So we talked about style points, whatever. Miami has the ball late in the game against Virginia Tech. They're only up by 10. Okay. So we're poo-pooing style points, but we're also understanding we need another touchdown.
Correct.
And instead of taking a knee, we throw a 20-yard touchdown pass to Malachi Tony, make the final score 17 points. Now,
Right.
there were different reactions to this all over social media.
Right.
Some people were down, knocking it down,
Mhm.
calling it a fake margin of, whatever.
Right.
And other people were applauding it, saying that's
Yeah.
the world we live in now. It didn't seem to bother the college football playoff committee at all. They moved Miami up one spot.
Mhm.
But they didn't move them up two, and
Mhm.
they're saving that for this week. And my guess is LT is that they recognize Miami has a challenge this weekend,
Mhm.
and anybody that's looking at it objectively, I think we'll see it the same way. I mean, this is a challenging weekend going up to Pittsburgh against a team that's relatively hot. Their
Mhm.
Notre Dame game aside. They've been I think they had 5 straight victories at one point before they lost to Notre Dame. Now they just won again. I mean, and you got to go up there and play in 30-degree weather.
Mhm.
You got to get yourself going early in the cold because you
Mhm.
have a noon game, which is still
Oof.
better, I believe, than a 3:30 game or a night game. A night game
Right.
would have
Right.
been really, really bad.
Oof.
And but I think I think that the people out there that are watching Miami recognize this is a real test this weekend, and they're just not mailing this in as a W by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, Gary, you look at it. Other than the Notre Dame game, which they Narduzzi pretty much didn't care about supposedly. Uh, I mean, they're a team with a freshman quarterback who's been playing pretty decent. Uh, you look at Reed, the running back, who's not going to play, as you said earlier. They had a young running back, rush for over 200 yards last week against Georgia Tech. Um, but I mean, they are playing well. But I think, my opinion is, Miami with our defense, our D line, and our offensive line. The line of scrimmage should be able to control the ball. Uh, and I think that Narduzzi has always done a good job. I've coached against him when I was at Louisville. He's always done a good job of getting pressure on the quarterback. But with this O line, he's going to have to bring more. I mean, with our O line and their D line, he's going to have to bring more pressure. And I think that Carson Beck should be able to. I, I know he has some happy feet sometimes and gets a little antsy, but on the other side, their quarterback, he doesn't have the experience that Carson has. He also, when he gets a little antsy, throws the ball to the other team. But I think that our O line will be able to protect better than theirs, and we'll be able to get some turnovers and be able to run the ball effectively. Because again, we have a grinder in Fletcher, we have Pringle, who's running, and we have Marty. I mean, we could run the ball when we want to. We all year long we run it up the middle. Now we're running different things, and don't forget about the whole jet sweep package with uh, with our outstanding freshman Malachi Tony, because that in itself is a whole package that you got to protect it. You got to understand that if he gets the ball, he can throw it at any point. As he's done this whole year, I think he maybe had one incompletion, and he had a nice pass last week where he hit a guy underneath, where the deep throw was taken away, but he was able to compose himself and throw the ball like he was a quarterback. Hit a nice strike. Uh, but I like where our offensive coordinator Shannon Dawson is doing some different things, running the ball outside, running the ball. Uh, I mean, it's just it. It looks like an entirely different offense than it did in the
It
middle of our
does.
season.
He would argue that, and
I know,
he's trying hard to not
I
make
know.
people see it that way, but that is the way it is. I'm with you 100%, LT, and but here's my question.
Wait, before you say that, Gary, hold that question. And if Dawson, if you keep doing this, man, you might be the head coach at USF, man. I know some people up there, Derek Brooks up there. I can call him up. He's balling out. No, come on, Dawson, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of what he's been doing as well, but I'm also mystified by something that we've been seeing quite a bit. They had 273 yards of offense in the first half.
Yeah.
Came out with a spectacular game plan. Everything's working. It looked phenomenal. And yet again, and we've seen this many times over the last 12 months, it hit a wall.
Hit the wall.
273 yards in the first half. Before that last second pass to Malachi for the 20 yards for a touchdown, only 100 yards in the second half, LT. Now, they only had, I think, three. It may have been three possessions in the second half. Two of them got blown up by a bad snap, and then the other one got blown up by a holding penalty.
Well, wait, yeah. Now let's talk about this. Hold that. Let's talk about the bad snap. And I brought this up to you when we were doing our pre-show talk. Something is maybe it's his cadence or something. We've had pre-snap penalties all year from the O-line, receivers, all kind of tight ends. Everybody's been doing something, lining up wrong. All kind of things have been going right. And now we get a snap. That snap goes in the end zone. They recover for a touchdown. Ooh, that's bad, right? I mean, we got very fortunate, but it must be his cadence. Something's going on, and maybe they got. I hope they're able to get that together, because that is a big not to do, having those pre-snap penalties or pre-snap. I mean, he wasn't even ready. He snapped the ball and he was still in his cadence. So
Yeah,
we got to get that together. We got to get that together. But go ahead, Jared. I didn't mean to cut you off.
But I mean, like every offensive coordinator game plans, they all have scripts for their first 20 plays, 25 plays. Everybody's got a different number of plays they pre-script, but everybody game plans. They put their plan together. They have their plays lined up. When Shannon Dawson's doing that, it's looking spectacular. I mean, to me, when he's doing that, he is as effective of an offensive coordinator as just about anybody in the country.
Wait, Gary. Pinellas came 8-9-3-1. Dawson called the offense in the first half and got us the lead.
And then Mario called it tonight.
Come on, man. Mario ain't calling no plays. I remember I played with him. He ain't calling no damn plays, man.
No. But it's just so bizarre. I mean, you saw it we saw it at Florida State. We saw it in the Notre Dame game a little bit. We saw it in the Florida game. We saw it the other day. I mean, we're seeing this week after week after week. Miami will jump out. I know in the Louisville game they were playing from behind. Somebody called me out on that the other day, and I understand that. But most games Miami's jumped out on top and has looked very good early, and then the other team claws back in, and the offense kind of stumbles around a little bit. LT, you've been an offensive guy your whole life. You've coached it. You've played it. Like, why does that happen? Well, like, why do you think it's happening?
It's hard to pinpoint, man, because as I'm watching the game just like you.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, why are we going through this little lull? I mean, I try to give the defense credit a little bit in a couple games, but we killed ourselves with the pre-snap penalties and dumb stuff like that. It's just hard to pinpoint what the hell is going on when you have that one little lull. And you remember in the beginning of the season we were talking about the one quarter. Okay, that's what we were blaming on, the one quarter that Miami had that they just can't. I don't know what's going on, but it is a lull somewhere in there where we're just not. Maybe we should give credit to the other team. I don't know.
Maybe adjustments. So if we credit it to adjustments, which it could be adjustments, I think the answer is you need to have another game plan ready for once those adjustments are made. You got to have another set of stuff available, and that's the adjustment that I think Shannon Dawson can make, because Saturday in Pittsburgh, I believe they're going to need 4 quarters of offense.
Yeah, well, I would love to see. Again, I've talked about this many times. Coaching with Bobby Petrino, he had like a deal where, he would run those guys, those smaller guys in the first half, and that third, fourth quarter, it's a bigger guy to make guys make business decisions. And, I've said this all year long. I thought of Fletcher as a guy to get 12 to 14 carries, not 200 carries. Keep him fresh, keep him healthy, rotate those guys in. I know that some people are going to say, those running backs out there are going to say, oh, well, they got to get the feel of the game. We're talking about keeping the guy healthy, and we're talking about keeping the guy fresh, because as we saw in the beginning of the year, when he wasn't getting the ball when in the beginning he was running hard. He was running. I mean, he was hitting that hole, and he was getting that 1-2 step, and guys were making decisions, trying to dive at his ankles. So now with the emergence of Pringle, with Marty, and somewhere Lyle might be in there too. You got guys that can give you that, and then run that guy in the fourth quarter. Make guys say, you know what? I don't know if I want to tackle this big guy. I don't, and then bring Pringle back in, or bring one of those other guys to run by. And I think it's a great luxury.
So it was interesting, and I hear you when you talk about the running game and how effective it's been all year. Okay, Saturday at Virginia Tech, it wasn't that effective, LT.
Yeah.
30 carries, 83 yards. That
Yeah.
is very substandard for Miami. Mark Fletcher had 6 carries in the game for 19 yards.
But
I mean,
but you know what happened though? Those those two jokers, Pringle and Fletcher, were able to catch passes for
yeah,
touchdowns. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So yeah, the running game might not have been working, but we also saw a little added wrinkle in this whole thing. How many times have we seen the ball thrown to running backs?
Not a
We
lot.
haven't seen, maybe last year, but not this year. So
Yeah, we've
he's
seen it, but not a lot. Yeah.
he's evolving as a play caller. He
Mm.
sees that, and yeah, the running game wasn't working like it should have been, or what we thought it would have been. But he was able to throw the ball to those guys and make. I mean, that was a hell of a catch by Pringle. That was I thought that Carson Beck almost screwed up throwing the ball to Fletcher. I thought he was open earlier, and he almost screwed it up, but he got it to him. And one time they had Malachi Tony lined up, kind of, he was motioning across, went to the backfield and snuck out on the 3rd and 7, where if Beck hits him, he's going to get a first down. So, it's I got to give it to Dawson, man. He's calling some plays. He's doing a lot better personally than I think than he was doing in the beginning, in the middle of the year. I think it got to a little low. That SMU game, man, that game plan, maybe it was as you do your scouting, you thought that you could run the ball effectively against them down their throat. Well, guess what? The other team is scouting too. And they decided, you're not going to run the ball on us. And they took it away from us.
Yeah, but I think, and I totally agree with everything you're saying. I've been very impressed with what we're seeing from Shannon Dawson. Other than the fact that it's not sustaining itself for the full game, and that's going to be, to me, a big key on Saturday, because Pitt averages something like 36 points a game, and there's the likelihood that you're going to have to score in the mid 30s to win this game in cold weather, and that's asking a lot, and you're going to need some stuff.
Yes.
You're going to need some stuff to get through this, in my opinion. And I hope that it plays out that way, and that the Miami offense rises to the occasion and does have a complete 4 quarters in them, because I'm not sure that there have been many games this year that we've seen that. We haven't. I mean, we just haven't. I mean, we're here talking about reality, and we haven't.
The good thing is we have a defense, and I can put that pressure on that defense. I think Corey and that defensive staff, has done a great job. I think again, I said it last week. I think the biggest addition was Lewis, Damon Lewis, on the D line. And so I think that he brings an added, been there, done that at the highest level, helping Corey, obviously JT. But I think that defense is the difference. I don't see you putting up 30 some points. I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I don't see them putting up 30 some points against. This is not an SMU offense. They got a freshman quarterback back there that holds the ball too long. When you get a little pressure on him, he gets antsy. We saw him throw some picks. I've seen him throw some picks this year. They've been like, whoop, without Reed, who's very explosive, a guy you throw the ball to screens and he can take it all the way. Now you got another guy, a younger guy in there, but he's not Reed. So with that being said, I think our defense should be able to win the line of scrimmage. And those guys are playing well. Moulton, Lightfoot, Blunt, Mesidor, and that guy, Bain, who we need to talk about. I heard something you said. We're going to get on that, Gary.
All right. But first, let me ask you about this. And I'm not here trying to rain on parades. This is reality, okay?
Yes.
Virginia Tech rushed for over 200 yards last week. The final number was 194, but that was with the quarterback taking 31 yards in losses. Yes. So their backs ran for like 220. Which was unbelievable. We haven't seen that all year. And suddenly now you got this Virginia Tech team that's at the bottom of the conference, basically, and they're scheming up a running game against us. And the tackling, Coach Heatherman, he wasn't happy with the tackling, and they were, getting some pretty good fits and things like that. But it's just crazy how every week seems to bring some kind of new drama. It's like there's no tranquility. There's no tranquility week to week. It's like, oh, geez, now this week they're stampeding all over us.
I think the only game I felt good about was didn't we play Bethune-Cookman earlier in the year? I felt good
exactly right.
And then they had one or two plays that made you go, that,
Yeah, and in the press conferences this week, I asked the coordinators, I'm like, it seems like this has been a real grind this year, getting through these games. And, people are knocking the ACC all over the place. The ACC sucks. The ACC sucks. Our own fans want to leave the ACC. They think we want to go to the Big Ten and SEC. But it's year after year after year. The parity in this league and how everybody beats everybody and can find something that works on a game-to-game basis. It's hard to win in this conference.
The SEC, being at Disney for 3 days, and you wearing my Miami stuff, I got a lot of questions and people from the SEC saying, hey, we're, it's a tough conference. And okay, yeah, it is. It is. But, the parity is also coming in the ACC. I would take our parity over the Big Ten. Was it the Big Ten? Yeah, I would take that parity. I mean, we got teams that are coming up and they're playing well against each other. So the SEC, hey, Vanderbilt came out of nowhere, right? And so now the bottom dweller is now up there in the top, top 4 or 5. And that's what they're talking about. The SEC is competing and all this, but I really believe the ACC this year, everybody was down on SMU in the beginning, but look what they've done. Georgia Tech was supposed to be the it. Well, you know what? It caught up with them. The teams are figuring them out. They were able to play well against King and those guys, and they were able to beat them. So, that's the parity. I mean, the giant was Clemson. They're not the giant anymore. They're not even talked about anymore, right? And of course, Florida State is not. I mean, we don't even know what the hell they are. So, I mean, it is some parity in it. Those are the bottom dwellers right now. So, teams are making their mark. They're playing well right now, and I think good coaches. We've had some good coaches and some really good players. People are buying the players in the ACC that just like they are in the SEC.
Yeah. So the other subjects you just brought up, might as well just throw this in here right now. So, I think the key to winning this game is the line of scrimmage. LT. I think our defensive line has to take control of this game. Yeah. They have to not allow Pitt to run the ball, and then they got to get after this quarterback. Okay. And obviously Ruben Bain's a big part of that. Okay. So we were talking about Ruben Bain on our CaneSport live show, and I'm always honest. Okay. And this is what I see. Okay. And I understand that giving this opinion, it ruffles some feathers. Like, my memory is, if you mention Ruben Bain to me, let's say you're playing word association with me, I think back to the Florida State game. Okay. When he went like 75 reps that night.
Right.
And he was I don't know if he's exhausted, angry. You know, he was tired. What you said, tired, right?
Out of gas.
He was out of gas. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it was way too many reps. But like he, to me, the first part of the season, everybody was calling him the best player. They were talking about him as a Heisman candidate. You're not hearing them talk about him as a Heisman candidate anymore. They were talking about him as, you know, one of the best defensive players in the country. They just put out the list for the college football awards. He's not nominated for anything.
Mhm.
And ever since that night at Florida State, I don't feel, for whatever reason, that he has been the same player. And you know,
Right.
people want to make excuses. Oh, they're double teaming him. They're this, that. I mean, I'm looking at the other side. I think Mesidor's got 7 sacks. Ruben
Mhm.
Bain's got 3. You know, and I don't know what's happened with Ruben Bain, and I don't know is if it's self preservation
Mhm.
because he maybe, you know, made his rep,
Mhm.
put it on tape, and now, you know, you're sitting there staring at a $30 million first round draft pick in April, and you know, you don't want to break down your body. Like, I get it totally if that's the case, if that's the situation. I'm not
Right.
saying it is. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying, like, I don't feel I'm watching the same Ruben Bain. Okay.
Mm.
And somebody can tell me why, because I don't have the answer why, but I don't feel I'm watching that same guy. LT, am I crazy?
You're a little crazy, Gary. You're a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. You're a little crazy. But I can tell you this. When I watch this guy, I see the other team paying close attention to where he is. And there, I did see some chipping, a lot of chipping. Okay. Uh them focusing, they're running away from him. He's there, but he's taking 2 guys with him. And those other guys on the other side are coming free, and the guys at the middle are coming free. I mean, you have to pay attention to him. And yeah, he does not have the stats. He does not have the stats that we probably would have thought he would have had uh, coming into this year, even 1/4 of the year. He was up for the Heisman and all that other stuff, and up for all these All American awards. But I guarantee you, he is up on that draft board for some of these teams. And sometimes awards in college don't equate to the draft picks. You know, we've seen guys win the Heisman Trophy get drafted in the 7th round. So I mean, I'm sure for him, as long as we're winning, he would take the double teams, sometimes triple teams, whatever the hell's going, running away from him, trapping him, all that good stuff. He would take that over. He wants to win, and those awards, he doesn't care. He wants to just. Here's a guy that, like you said, in the beginning of the season, didn't want to come out the game. So it's good to see him
He was
now.
unbelievable.
I mean, I was like, the guy needs to come out sometime because what we saw Florida State, you're right, he was out of gas, and I was
Yeah.
there.
But
You
Notre
know,
Dame, I mean, he was unbelievable.
he was unbelievable, but you got to understand, some nights the weather's just good. Some nights your engine is running on all cylinders. And then there's some nights you got to take a break. So it's encouraging to see him now taking breaks and giving some of those other guys some reps so he can come in fresh. I still think he's one of the best D linemen in the country. He's been held a lot. They're not calling it. You see it. I mean, they got the man around his neck sometimes. They ain't calling it. But the reason why Messidor now, I'm not saying Messidor is not as good or is better. But
Yeah.
when you
They're different.
they're different guys. And
Yeah.
so now you shading your over here on Bain, and you got a guy going 100 miles per hour, Mesidor on this side. Then you got Moten, you got Lightfoot, you got all these guys getting in there. Blunt, you got them
Blunt.
getting in there because guess what? The attention is on Ruben Bain, and they're whipping their guys in one-on-one battles. So sometimes stats, man, if a team takes you out of the game, they want to see the other guys. That's coaching, man. That's truly coaching. Guys are game planning against Ruben Bain. That's just my opinion. I've seen it happen before where guys, a coach said, "Hey, that guy's not going to beat me." and those other guys are going to have to step up, and those guys are stepping up, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. That's the that is the, I mean, that's one way we can look at it. And I'm certainly open-minded. I just have noticed that it's just not the same. And I'm not willing to excuse it away by saying he's being double teamed every play, because he's not being double teamed every play. And I want to see him step up this week.
Okay, well,
this is where you need everybody this week. And this is a big game for the University of Miami.
Yes.
Okay, finishing 10-2 with those two disappointments in the middle of the season is a big deal, as opposed to 9-3 and being out of everything, and limping to the Pop-Tarts Bowler game. Right. I feel the same way.
I hate to talk about that.
And I know how much these guys put into this, and I know how much this means this weekend. And you can't have those 2 days back against SMU and Louisville. You're not getting them back. And you might win Saturday and still not get into the, we showed you the ACC situation, the college football playoff situation is complicated. You might win and not get in. But they need everybody, this weekend, for sure. I believe. And, we'll see what happens. All right. So, not to change the subject, but there are some other elephants in the room as we wait for Ahmmon Richards to come up. This whole cold weather in Pittsburgh issue. Okay.
Yes.
We got an infiltrator on our show tonight.
Right.
He is celebrating what the weather is going to be up in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Saturday. The Canes haven't played a true cold weather game since when? This is no small task. It's not 30 and sunny. It's 30 and gloomy. And it's going to be 30 and gloomy up there on Saturday. LT, you probably played, I don't know, several hundred.
I played at Pitt.
Yeah.
Played at Pitt with that guy that's on TV that talks like he was a great player. Number 7, he was a safety. I can't think of his name, but he's all over TV. I can't think of his name, but he was a safety, and he's actually does Monday Night Football or something like that. It was gloomy and it was cold, and we went up there and kicked their behind. Hey, that's your weather. That is your weather, because you're gloomy people. Matter of fact. So yeah, I get it. Louis Riddick, that's who it is. Louis Riddick. Yeah, that guy. He was sorry as hell. He was terrible. His pads were bigger than his ego was bigger than his pads.
Yeah, and Joey Galloway too. I mean, it's just, these guys are.
Well, I do believe, we said we were going to talk about cold weather games for Florida kids. Yeah, it's something, and it is something to talk about, because I have gone to a game where it was, I want to say maybe 61, 60 something, and we had on every cold weather gear in the book, and we look at Boston College and they're out there with no sleeves on, so there is something about us playing there. But I believe this team, with everything that has at stake, and for the offense that we have run before, and with the offense that we have now, I think it's going to be betterment for us. And with our defense playing well, we should be fine.
How do you deal with cold weather? Do you just run the ball? Do you try to?
Well, you got to throw it at some point. You have to throw it at some point. But yeah, you want it. You hope that your offensive line can dominate their defensive line, and when they do stack the box, you're able to complete some passes. I mean, we've done a great job all year completing passes to. For sure, with 90 attempts with no drops. Malachi Tony. I mean, he's the best freshman that we've seen since Ahmmon Richards. I mean, to be honest with you, those two guys were the greatest freshmen I've seen play at the University of Miami. And I mean, you find ways to get those guys the ball with the jet sweep and stuff like that. But our offense is set up to run the ball like we have done this year. I mean, wouldn't it be great, because we're running the ball just like we did? We're throwing the ball now, but because of that, we're able to run the ball, because now they have to they have to figure out ways to stop the passing game and the wide open offense that we have that coach, our offensive coordinator, has thrown in there now. I mean, now you have a lot of stuff to try to prepare for.
How let's look at it from the receiver standpoint.
Okay.
What was the coldest game you ever played in your career?
Probably a Green Bay game or
When you were with the Bucks, you went to Green Bay
yeah,
in the cold.
yeah, cold weather. I
So that
sat
was
on
probably what, about 0 degrees?
it was under 30.
Yeah.
And I did, my butt was nice and warm on that heated bench for a little bit. But also the Broncos went out there um, in the playoff game. It was cold, caught some passes. Uh, but in college, we were very fortunate at the
You didn't
University
have
of
cold
Miami. I
weather.
mean, we went to again. I talked about the Boston College game where we thought it was cold. They didn't. Uh, Syracuse, because it was indoors, it wasn't cold. But we were fortunate enough to have. I can't think of not too many games that we had at the University of Miami during that time period where we had cold weather. Oh, Cotton Bowl, it was cold out there, as you remember. That week
Mm.
it was unbelievably cold, but you saw what we were able to do in the Cotton Bowl itself. So it just depends on your team. I mean, you got to have like one of the the viewers said, you got to be laser focused, man. That cold weather, yeah, it's cold, but you're still a good football team that should be able to beat an okay team. That's what I look at. Now, the gusts up to 22 mile per hour, okay, all
He's
right.
our resident
Man,
weatherman tonight.
I mean,
He's praying for those gusts, Lamar.
what else? What else? Pittsburgh Pantheo or whatever your name, where they got hookers up there in
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh.
Panthero.
They got hookers up there too. What else you gonna throw in there, man? Good lord. And here's the thing too. People haven't talked about our field goal kicker's been played very well this year. I didn't even know who he was in the beginning, but I mean, he kicked a game winner, pretty much a game winner against Notre Dame, and he's played pretty good this year. He's done a lot of good things for us. So it's going to be interesting to see how this. I mean, with the 22 mile per hour, that just means your freshman quarterback ain't going to be able to throw it out there. So I mean, it's hey, it might be bad for us, but it's going to be worse for you.
So how did it affect you? You walk into a 20-degree stadium,
Yeah.
a 10-degree stadium. You're a Florida guy.
Yeah.
How did it affect you?
Well, I mean, for me personally, it was cold. I ain't gonna lie, it was cold. We thought it was cold, but the team itself, once those pads start popping and things like that, you gotta figure it out. It's man, whether it's conditions as far as the field, you got to figure it out. I mean, but that's you're a better team. We do practice in Florida and we do have great conditions all year long. You go on the road, you got to figure it out, and that's what we kind of did because when the few games we did have in cold weather, we just figured it out. You walk out there, yeah, everybody's cold, but once those pads start popping, you just figure it out. I mean, I remember going to Michigan State. It seemed like a beautiful day to me, and though it was kind of chilly because we had on sleeves. Missouri, places like that. It was kind of chilly, but
Did you wear gloves? You wore gloves back
yeah,
when you played.
yeah, yeah.
How much did that help in the cold weather? The gloves.
Um, as long as it wasn't wet. I wore gloves when it wasn't wet. It was just cold. Because remember, the gloves aren't what they are now. The gloves we had were kind of the Newmans and things like that. They didn't have the same. These gloves are kind of rubber, and they figured out how to stop the ball when it hits your hands. Now, uh, I've coached in the cold at Kentucky and at Louisville, and guys still use those gloves. So it doesn't matter. It actually helps you out a little bit. As long as it's not too wet, then guys take the gloves off.
Interesting. Does the home team now? Let's not act like it's been 30 degrees in Pittsburgh every day since
Right,
August.
right.
It hasn't been.
Hasn't
Okay.
hasn't been.
So they've been practicing in it maybe for the last week or two. Okay, no, no problem. But they've probably been practicing in their indoor facility. Quite frankly, I don't think Pat Narduzzi's got his team out there in 30-degree weather every day having practice. Okay, but people look at it as like a real home field advantage.
Yeah,
Is,
I
is
mean,
it? Is it?
it can be, it can be.
Were you not the same Lamar Thomas when you were at Green Bay and Denver in the cold weather as you were at Tampa Stadium?
Well, first of all, Buccaneers, we were the Yuccaneers back then. We sucked. Uh, we sucked even more when we went up to Green Bay. Um, but Dolphin wise, I mean, we played Denver. It was the altitude also not to go along with the cold weather. That was entirely different. So they did have some type of home field advantage. I've played in snow games before, Chicago. Uh, it. You just you got to figure it out. I mean, it's cold. There's no doubt about it. It's cold, but you got to figure it out because it's still football. It's still football, man. It's still you got to run, catch, hit, all those things that you have to do. And while you're out there, you're not thinking it's cold. Now, when you're on the sideline, you're thinking it's cold. Or when you're in the locker room, you're thinking, man, New England, they're throwing snowballs at you. Still got to do your job, you know. So it's cold, but I don't. Teddy Brewster didn't care about it being cold. He was trying to knock my block off, right? So that's just how it is. He's cold too.
Yeah, very good point. So LT, isn't to me this week is about mental toughness.
Yes, yes, yes. You got to be mentally tough to go and play in the cold weather. I mean, and also with everything you have at stake, this adds to it. That's why the mental toughness has to come in because not only the elements, it's your whole season is at stake. So you and your team got to figure out we got to huddle and hold hands or whatever we got to do on that side and keep each other warm. We got to do it, and we got to go out and play the best of our abilities to win this game.
And listen, they talk about culture.
Yeah.
Down there a lot. They feel they have an impeccable culture, which I feel they do. This has been a together team.
Yeah.
The whole season, guys clearly like each other and are playing for each other. And, it's like any other football season. Everything hasn't gone perfectly. But I think the culture is good. And I think that they're built to have the mental toughness. And that's why I keep asking you about the physical aspect of it. What does it do to you? Because I don't feel that they're going to break mentally because it's cold. I wouldn't be surprised if the whole damn team's out there without shirts on for pregame warmups, like I remember they did one year.
God, I hope not, because then they get pneumonia and stuff like that. We got to get ready for the playoffs after that. You know what I mean? You got to don't go overboard. Just be comfortable. Get yourself a little warm. Maybe get some hand warmers. Keep in your pockets, whatever. But don't go overboard and go out there. I did that one time in New England. I decided I was gonna rub some Vaseline on myself. By the second half, I went in and I put everything I could on. Okay, I was so cold, and I think
you were skinny as hell.
Yeah, I was skinny. But I could cut through the ice. That's what I was cut through the ice. But yeah, it gets cold. It's no doubt, but you still got to play the game. That's the thing. You know it's cold, but as you're out there, in my mind, I'm just like, okay, I know the footing isn't as good, so I got to be a little bit more choppier. Okay, I wanted to look the ball all the way in to make sure that I got the catch. Because the conditions, the quarterback, sometimes the ball comes off a little different. There's a lot of things that go into it, but they should be fine. We're gonna run the ball. I see Fletcher doing some good things. I see old Pringle. I'm telling you, Pringle, he's gonna keep doing this thing, and he's gonna get a Pringle NIL.
They just got to give him a hole, man.
And Marty.
Just give them a hole. All right, we're going to be joined in a second here by Ahmmon Richards. But first, let's hear from our friends at CaneSport.
Welcome to CaneSport.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, CaneSport has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. CaneSport, the spot Miami fans shop.
Yes, sir. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the shopping weekend of the year is here. And that means it is time to go to CaneSport, Lamar. Man, they got everything you could possibly want. If you need stocking stuffers, you need gifts for your significant others, your kids,
stickers,
cups, stickers, polos, jerseys,
dogs.
Clothes for your dog.
Everything.
I mean, your dog has to have a holiday gift too this year.
Yeah, get your dog.
So you might as well go get him a U outfit at CaneSport. They're at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, caneswear.com. They have, like I said, a little bit of everything in all different sizes for men, women, kids, pets, you name it, they've got it there at CaneSport. And they even have gear for the other teams in town. So if you don't want to, number one, if you're a Canes fan, you probably have about 100 Canes outfits in your closet.
Yeah.
So you might want to, Inter Miami's having a good season. You might want a little Inter Miami jersey for the holidays, or no, I don't.
Florida Panthers 2-time back-to-back.
Yeah, Florida Panthers. Yeah, I'm not going to say the Dolphins. They're kind of slugging through the season. Played a little better lately. Lately.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. The 10 jerseys on half price, maybe a 3/4. I don't know, and probably 2 of jerseys. They ain't going what they used to go for. So you can get a good deal. Go in there and negotiate.
Yeah, they'll have the Black Friday sale sticker on those things most likely. But anyway, great time to go to CaneSport, 2655 South University Drive in Davie, or caneswear.com. I'm sure they'll have plenty of specials this weekend. So make sure you go check them out.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring in the man himself, Ahmmon Richards. A lot of people think the real wide receiver from the past of the University of Miami, but we're not going to disrespect LT like that just because.
No. First of all, this kid, I'm sitting here talking about Malachi Tony and what he has been able to do as a freshman. What you were able to do as a freshman, man, it was great to watch. I mean, probably the best freshman year I've seen up until Malachi. You guys are two guys that have really showed what being a freshman, getting an opportunity and taking advantage of it can do. And it was just a pleasure to watch you. What are you like? I know you were like a freshman All-American and all that other good stuff, but I want to go back to when I recruited in high school.
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that because you was one of the first, man. Louisville came through with the offer. Coach, he come through the school with the glasses on, cool as a kite. And then, Devontae Parker and the boys up there making plays. So it was great. Honestly, I definitely appreciate you. You got the eye for the talent. You was one of the early ones, so,
I sat in that room and told your coach, man, this kid is special. And of course, he tells me, I know he's special. He's one of the greatest. He's a great kid. I would let him date my daughter. Matter of fact, he's dating the star volleyball player. I said, oh, yeah? Wait. So he's dating the star volleyball player. Let me think. I think my niece is the star volleyball player here.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and I remember that first handshake. You remember how stern my handshake was?
Yeah. He shook my hand so hard. I was like, yeah, I see what's going on.
But Ahmmon, you left him out in the car, out in the driveway for over 2 hours.
Yeah.
You broke his heart.
Man, coach, who came that visit? I don't even remember.
It was Beard, man. Beard.
I think it was KB.
It was KB. Y'all stayed in the house and
Yeah,
I was
you know,
sick, man. I was,
KB can, you know, KB can talk. You know,
KB can talk. He probably been praying with you and everything. Y'all was praying.
yeah.
I'm sitting there. I'm sitting in the car. I'm fuming because I'm sitting outside. My appointment was maybe like at 9 or something.
Mhm.
KB stayed over, and you know, the only thing I was like, man, that's still my school. I
Yeah.
want to go say something, but so I said I'm gonna be respectful. You know, his parents. I sat out there, and I had another coach with me, Kobe Smith. Kobe Smith's like, Coach, I don't think he gonna this gonna end too well. No, it's gonna end all right. We going in there. I promise. He gonna let me in. And I just remember going in there. And he was like, Coach, man, you know. And when the kids start doing this,
Yeah.
Coach, man, you know you're a good coach, man.
It's tough.
I
Nah, man, that recruiting stuff is tough,
yeah,
man, because I really don't. I mean, obviously there's a right or wrong, but I feel
yeah,
like
yeah,
when you like feel like you can really play at whatever school, it's just it makes it harder. Where I'm like,
yeah,
man, like I could really go to Louisville and play.
yeah,
I like coach everything set up the right way. They got guys, Devontae Smith hooping, like is there. So it's
yeah,
like, what do you really base it off of? And then when I'm just thinking about all the factors, just like closer to home
yeah.
and school. I love the University of Miami growing up and stuff like that. It just when you put it like that, I was like, yeah, man, I'm gonna have to stay home. Saving them told them. I think I texted Mario them. I was like, yeah, coach, I'm going to Miami, man. And but at the end of the day, it's funny because we're all Miami guys, so it
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
worked out. But
And that was the whole thing. I was like, if I'm a losing, I remember calling Coach Abel and I said, I think he's gonna go to Miami, but I appreciate everything you
yeah,
did. He was very upfront with me about a lot of stuff. What a great coach you had, Coach Abel.
yeah, I
A
love
very
coach.
very good, outstanding coach. A lot of coaches be about that BS, but he was a good dude. He always was upfront with me about everything, and he appreciated me coming in early, saying I really like this kid.
Yeah,
And
sure.
so you had a great thing going with your high school coach. At Wellington, you did a great job.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate that. Yeah, it's funny. He came in his first year, and I was like a freshman, and learning my way. I was on varsity. I really played defense. Then sophomore year, we started throwing the ball a little bit more. Got out of like running wing tee
Yeah.
or the wing tee stuff. And that junior year, after I went to those camps, I went to like Tennessee camp and UF camp, and I'm going against like Trayvon Mullen, Malik Young, like the top guys, and I'm going crazy. So then I'm like, my junior year, I'm like, there's nobody in Palm Beach County that can guard me. If the top corners in the class can't, why would the kid locally be able to? So once that confidence like shot through the roof that junior year, 40 some catches, 23 touchdowns. I just was like, from that point, it was like no looking back. And then I just got faster, went to training and really like trying to like improve my game. And then senior year just had a good year. And then obviously we saw, freshman year when I got to Miami, just kind of just mentally just trying to be ready, just waiting for my moment. And it happened. From that, it was just no looking back. I kind of went too far where there was no turning around. Right? It was like, I'm here now. So let's do it. Why not?
And your high school film, man, was amazing.
Yeah.
You ran away from people, you jumped over people, that high school film rivaled, some of the best receivers to play the game. That's why I fell in love with it. I was just like, man, this kid is gonna be a star. I had Coach Petrino on board. He was like, I can't believe you lost that fucking kid. I'm like, Coach, man, he's going to Miami, bro. What I'm supposed to do? Coach, he's going to a better program.
Yeah. No, I my heart was always with Miami. Like I thought about going to Alabama, like secondly, but just growing up watching the Canes, especially them going through the smoke. I'm seeing Devin Hester and what's his name? Willis McGay. He was like my favorite player around that time, Andre Johnson. So I'm like my heart's there, but the situation at that time was crazy because the coach got fired during the season. Then they're don't know who the coach is, and then obviously Coach Rick was recruiting me at Georgia, so he came down, and it kind of just fell together. Like once he got hired, and then Dugans reached out and all that, and I was just like, man, I was like, I just feel it in my heart. This is where I'm supposed to be, so let's just go. And I just feel like wherever I play at or wherever I go, like I'm gonna do what I do is just the situation just had to be right, and I felt like it was that. So,
and for me, it was hard too, because in a way I couldn't dirty Mac my own team. You know what I mean? It's hard.
yeah,
Here it is. I'm wearing the ring. I'm coming down with my Miami jewelry on now. I'm gonna have my natties on, and it's hard to dirty Mac your team where you played. So it was the only thing I could take of it. It was like, okay, well, at least he's going to Miami. At least the program will be good. So I kind of just left it alone, just slapped my way out of it. Now I got, again, Coach Petrino, he got on me pretty good. You probably let him go to Miami. I didn't let the man go. That's where his heart was at, Coach. I mean, what am I supposed to do? That's the kid want to go to Miami.
You was on me hard. I'm not gonna lie, Coach. You was on me hard. Nah, it definitely wasn't that for sure. You definitely didn't push Miami. You were trying to get me to go way up in Kentucky, and I thought about it. I was like, I know West Virginia came. I was like, look, worst case scenario. If I don't do nothing else right, I'm going to West Virginia, right? Then Louisville, then Tennessee. And I'm like, okay, these are some like legit schools that actually, play real ball. So, and then obviously the Alabamas and Miami's came, and it just made it way more harder. Yeah. To kind of like go to like Louisville at that time. It was just like harder. I'm like, go to Kentucky. I don't live in Kentucky. I'm not that country. I don't know.
Ahmmon, I don't know if you remember this, but I actually had the honor of covering your signing, and I came up there to Palm Beach Gardens and on your signing day, and filmed your whole ceremony and did an interview with you and everything. And I remember leaving the school that day, and I had never met you before, thinking, man, Miami has something special here. And I met your brother, and the whole thing was great, and I remember thinking, Miami really has something special here. And you came in as a freshman and were unbelievable. And then you had adversity. But the thing that's impressed me the most is how you've handled that adversity. I mean, you were an unbelievable football player, and to have that taken away from you at 18 years old is just something that had to be the hardest thing in the world to deal with. And you never, the smile I've never seen you not smiling. You went and you turned yourself into a businessman. And you're doing a lot of different things, and you can talk about that, and I just got to tell you, and I'm not saying this because you're on this show, I am as impressed by you, and I've been covering this program for a long time, going on 4+ decades now. I am as impressed by you as all the great players that came through Miami because of how you handled what you had to handle when everything happened. And I just want to congratulate you for that. Seriously.
Yes, sir. Nah, man, I really appreciate that, man. Cause when I really think back on it, it was definitely like a tough time. And it's like one of those like crazy situations where you never believe what happened, like I always in my mind was like, I'm going to the NFL, like I never thought anything else. But when it happened, I just leaned on family and just really believe like I'm not the only person that has gone through something. My dad, he was 21, he had a stroke, right? Finished college, got a degree in a wheelchair. So like when I really think about like things that happen to people, like I just feel like it's really like how you respond, and that really what makes you a man. Everyone can ride high when everything's great, high and gold, everyone telling you, they love you and everything. But what happens, if something happens or you don't make it to that destination like you think, like how do you respond? Like I remember our coaches in ball, they tell you about adversity and fighting through it. So it's like real life, it happens to people every day in the regular world, and it just happened to me. I play football, and unfortunately I can't get hit no more. So what are you gonna do? Who are you? And it was tough, but eventually I figured it out. And just started chasing things I'm passionate about. Talking Canes football is like what I'm passionate about, being around the sport, what I'm passionate about. We started the company College Hunks, a franchise here in Miami, just hustling and grinding, like, just doing what you're, passionate about. So that's kind of what helped. Obviously, that void of just like not walking across that stage on draft night is there. It'll never go. But how I can think about it is like, man, like watching all these other kids like live their dreams and be happy, like seeing like Malachi Tony like going crazy, making plays. Like I just know the feeling of it. And I know like it makes him feel great, his family great, he's gonna take care of him. So like just watching all these other kids like live their dreams every day, like it honestly still makes me happy. Like I watch the games, I'm cheering, I'm happy as if I'm acting like I'm about to go out there and play. Honestly, like I'm tuned in at kickoff all the way to the final snap. So, you know, just being around a game, just staying in tune. And I think some people like they try to like if they don't make it to the NFL or whatever the case may be, they kind of like stop watching it. They try to disassociate. They don't want to hear about it. I feel like sometimes you just got to dive in it, man. End of the day, if you really love the game, you're passionate about it, like that should never change. And I feel like that's the things that just kind of helped me just leaning into like, okay, like, yeah, now you're watching and supporting, you're a fan now or alumni, whatever you want to call it, like lean into it. Like, it's okay. Like, you know, I can't go back and change the past. I can't go back to 2016, 2017 to play, you know, and neither can Tom Brady. He can't go back to his first Super Bowl either. You know, everyone got to adapt into this new phase. So that's kind of just how I've seen it. And I just been, you know, hustling, just trying to be as great, you know, off the field, you know, now just do whatever I can, college hunks or media, podcasting, whatever. Like I'm hustling, grinding, just trying to do what I love.
Well, I can tell you this, man. My son was at the game, and I said, you know who that is right there? He's like, I said, that guy, the greatest freshman receiver I've ever seen in my freaking life. And let's talk about that freshman year, man. You know, we see Malachi doing his thing. During that freshman year, did you ever stop and go, dang, I'm balling now? I mean, because it's a longer season. People don't realize when you make that jump from high school to college, like maybe 3/4 of the season or maybe a half of the season, you're like, damn, we still got games to go. When in high school, you were done.
Yes, 100%. I mean, that first year, that's one of the things that did like surprise me just as far as keeping your body like healthy and taking care of it because it's long.
Yes.
I mean, even if you play an FAU, the hits you take, like people don't understand, like they're hitting out there, you know, like it hurts, you know. So I remember getting to like was it Pitt? I think Pitt, the game, I went crazy. It was like Pitt game, and it was like a 3 Pitt, like Virginia. It was like the kind of towards the back end, and I was going for like 100 yards, but like I was tired though. I was like, man, we still got like 3 more games left, you know. And then if we get bowl eligible because we started chasing that, we're like, we get bowl eligible, then that's another game. So, man, I would say that was like the difficult part. A lot of freshmen don't realize how long and physically like imposing the game is. That's why a lot of guys start off hot and then they kind of fall off towards the end because their body's just it's not fresh or nicked up. Your ankle is hurting. You got a rib contusion because you got hit by a linebacker the previous week. So all that stuff starts to catch up to you. You know, so
that's why I've always said for me, playing freshman, people say about playing freshman, I say, man, you just don't know who's gonna show up.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna be up and they're gonna be down, they're gonna be up, they're gonna be down. I mean, it is, and for you to have such a great freshman year, what was it? What did you do to? I mean, like Malachi, like I kept saying early in the season, I said, well, I mean, I know he's doing well, but he's still a freshman. What were you able to do to mentally stay intact?
Man, I honestly, it was more mental for me than anything because like I had the turf toe going in, then FAU, I got hit in the ribs. I had to wear like a rib cage, but mentally it was where I think was really what separated me. Because in my mind, like I told myself, like there's no one better. Like in my mind, I would never say it.
Right.
I really in my mind believed that. So I just felt like every time I lined up, I'm like, bro, this is 1-on-1. Like high school, there's 2-3 dudes guarding you. You know what I'm saying? Now you got one person, like one can't stop me. So that was my mentality. Honestly, like I just feel like when you really believe in something or you are something, you can really do that. So I just believe that I'm the guy. So I just, you know, played like it. But the other part that really did give me an advantage was studying my plays.
There you go.
when I'm talking about like when you really study film, you learn how to watch film. As the games got played, I started like learning like how like what to look for indicators if they're about to blitz because the safety's cheating over on the hash. Like I'm really learning the game within the game.
Right.
Once I figured that part out,
did the game slow down?
Slow down. I was able to understand like, okay, they're in zero man. Like for example, the bowl game, the last game of the season. I knew they were going to go all out blitz, and it was going to be me in the corner. And the only thing I had to do was make the corner miss. So when I caught it, like I set it up where I'm like backpedaling, like I did a hitch, and I started kind of like shifting, like I'm going like out of bounds. Caught it, turned inside, and then I was like, now it's just a race. Now I just got to get across the field because everyone just blitzed.
Right.
So, like I guess what I'm saying is I figured out like down at distance, you know, when to go for the home run play. When to just make the catch, get down, and I think that's just kind of what allowed me to kind of, you know, make those big plays, you know, when the team needed. Just learning the game and just, you know, knowing what the defense is going to be in just from studying film and just having the mentality that, you know, like when I do get the ball, it may be 2 catches a game, it may be 3. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to be in the coach's ear. Hey, coach, what's going? No, I'm just wait for my opportunity and just strike every time I get the chance. And that's just what I tried to do.
So, what do you think of the Canes this year, Ahmmon? What you know, we're almost at the end of the line here. What are your thoughts on the way the season's gone?
Man, the season it started off great. Obviously, we had the 2-game kind of skid. You know, I do like the resiliency they showed just losing those 2 games. And normally, if we know, you know, just history of Miami of the recent years, we lay down. You know, you take those few losses, and you know, you got guys checking out. Yeah. They're looking forward to, you know, summertime. Essentially, they're ready to go into the off season. But I really got to tip my hat to how the guys responded. And I feel like we've been playing like really good complementary football, especially on offense, since that last SMU game. You know, Carson Beck has been dialed in. Tony has looked, you know, I mean, I feel like he's getting better and better as the more games are playing. The defense overall has been really good. I think they're top 10 in the nation, just statistically. So overall, I mean, I think we have a really great team. I do think, just in my honest opinion, the 2 games we did lose, I just felt like we really did get out schemed and coached. And that was really the difference. When I think about SMU and Louisville, like that's just what I see. Just we weren't really prepared for what they were doing on offense. Louisville game, and then SMU, I just felt like the offense was so basic and, you know, dry that like we're kind of fighting an uphill battle just with the other team, just kind of like having our tendencies kind of down packed. Now Carson Beck did have an overall good game, but obviously we had an interception at the end. But it shouldn't have been close. We should have scored more than 20 points. We should have really scored like 40 on them, but we didn't. So, but since then, like I said, it's been really good. So overall, I would say so far, you know, obviously we got Pitt game, but I'll give it like an A-, B+ in that ballpark range, only because the 2 losses, you know, I don't think they're as bad as people originally thought. Yeah, and I think like when you like lose a game and you can really look in the mirror and say like we beat ourselves, I think that kind of like shifts things a little bit. Yeah. They didn't really physically impose their will on us or anything like that. We just quite literally just, I feel like, got out schemed that game. So, but I love what I'm seeing. I think we're heading in a positive direction. You know, obviously win this next game. That's 10-win seasons back to back. We haven't done that. I do think we are a playoff team. I think we're the type of team who plays very well against other great teams. Our issue is that we always play down to competition when we play a lesser talented or lesser, you know, competitive team. But the best part about it is that in the playoffs, there is no bad teams. So I think we would start to get some of our best ball. We were to get in the playoffs. That would be my pitch to the committee. You know, we play good against, you know, teams we're supposed to be good, play good against.
So let me ask you this. Okay, so you played in a cold weather game, right? As a young buck.
Oh God.
Okay. What was your mindset as a young buck? I mean, it's cold. You know it's cold. You're West Palm. You're a West Palm guy.
I'm not gonna lie. The ball feels like you're catching like a stone of some sort. Like the ball is like harder. You know, if you're, you know, running, like the floor is a little slick because the cold got the grass is a little slicker. So you definitely can't be cutting around and, you know, doing that type of stuff. So you got to play a little more under control for sure. And I will say it is fun because it is cold and everyone's just kind of excited for the cold. One thing I will say is that please do not come out with the not wearing the shirts and stuff. Don't do it. Please,
somebody will. No doubt.
Don't do that.
Please
man.
don't do it. I feel like it's the ultimate reverse jinx and curse. Just we understand that you're tough and we see the muscles. You're not afraid of the cold, but I promise you, it's going to be cold. So just get warm. Just get the hand warmers and the jackets. Just stay warm. You don't gotta prove us nothing, none of that. So I would say, I played in a cold game in like high school, and it's definitely miserable. Yeah. You know, all the hits hurt a little bit more. It's really not fun. As a receiver, at least, I don't got that much. Yeah. You know, I'm slim, so I don't got that much meat on my body, right? Yeah. So,
you got more than Lamar had.
I mean, I was pretty skinny, honestly. It wasn't. Shout out to the room in college and eating all that food, man. I definitely got buffed up a little bit.
You still was bigger than me, though.
Yeah,
it was cold, bro. And I said it earlier. You still got to do your job. You got to figure it out. Choppy. You got to chop your feet more. Make sure you don't fall down and slip. See, that's the main thing. Yeah. And I'm sure Beard's going to tell him that because you don't want a pass thrown to you. Let's say you're running a hitch, and you're running it like you're at home, and where you got good footing. Well, up there, if you're not choppy enough, you run that hitch, you slip down. That DB is standing there by himself. So you have to figure out the conditions, whether it's the more studs in your shoes. You might have to change your shoes. Some guys, I was telling Garrett earlier, I wore gloves, but if it was wet, I felt better. I felt better with my hands. Like I wanted to feel the ball. I didn't want to leave it up to those gloves because, you know, a little wetness is okay. But when it's really wet, I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think we'll have some hand warmers and stuff.
Yeah,
the guys will have.
You think?
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure. What's the weather? I think they said it's going to be.
It's going to be in the low 30s.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, when we played up there in 2017, it was like 50 something degrees. It wasn't that bad. You know, it was a little chilly, but it was.
You had on long sleeves.
Yeah, we had on like the little long leggings, but you know, Coach Rick didn't like the arm sleeves or nothing like that. So we had to just go, you know, wear a bear up here, but lower body we did get leggings for that game. So
Mike Williams says this is the biggest game of Mario's career Saturday. What do you guys think?
I mean, in my opinion, is one of them, yeah, for sure, because of what's at stake, right? We lose this game, you know, you're probably end up playing in some random bowl game, right? You know, it's just gonna look like a negative. You look like you're going backwards, right? You go from 10-2 the previous year, or 10-3 because we lost a bowl game, to 9-3, and then you got to play some team in a bowl game. And Carson Beck, you know, quarterback might probably opts out. A lot of
I think half the team opts out.
Exactly. So I just think this is one of those moments where you have number 22 on the road in a game where people historically, or this type of game, we lose at the end of the season when all the stakes are on the line. So I think he has a chance to kind of reverse the history and kind of prove that we are going in a different direction, and that narrative isn't really true no more about us in November months, right? So, and obviously just winning this game, you kind of almost solidify yourself as, you know, having the argument of being at large college football playoffs. Also, winning the game, as long as a few other games go our way, you have an opportunity, you know, to still play an ACC championship game, which is a far shot, but it still is a chance, right? And if there's a chance, then anything can happen. So I think, yeah, I agree. It's definitely one. I thought Notre Dame was like that one in the beginning, but the fact that how people are spinning it as like essentially a loss at this point, it's kind of like aggravating a little bit. But I said between that Notre Dame game, winning, you know, the state of Florida twice, and then I think this Pitt game is like up there with when he beat Ohio State. I think it's one of those like memorable games that people will definitely hold him accountable for, whether we lose or win. They're going to look back at this game and say we had a chance to solidify ourselves and make a run in the playoffs, and we did it, or we squandered it and gave it away, and we're playing in the Alpaca Bowl or something. So.
I want to ask you this. Speaking of coaches, what was it like playing for Mark Richt?
Man, it was like Coach Richt is like very big in like the church and being very positive. Even if he went crazy at practice, he wouldn't pray. But it was honestly really fun.
Right.
I felt like there was like real structure there. Like we knew like his demands, we knew the expectations he wanted for us. Really off the field. That was like one of the big ones. We knew what he tolerated, what he didn't. So it was cool. I feel like a guy like him, what you saw like online or when he was at Georgia is kind of like what you got at Miami. So I definitely love playing for him. I even seen him a few times at practice or a few of the events, stuff like that. So what's up to him. But now it was great. I will say, Coach Richt was a great. I do think obviously he was older at the time. So after like the first 2 years, things kind of started to go a little south.
Right.
But I do feel like if he was like, let's say 5 years earlier, like I think we probably would have been able to get over the top. I do think he had a very good, eye for just like winning games. I know there was a whole debate about the offense and play calling and all that type of stuff, but overall, just like heading a program, like he is like the ideal guy you would want, like running your program.
Right.
But obviously he was older when he came and stuff like that, and obviously had got sick and stuff. So, but I love playing for him, man. I think a lot of people would say the same. Whether you got kicked off the team or you graduated, like I think everyone can say that he kind of called it down the middle, with a lot of things.
Right. One of the viewers, DWC 7152 said, "Did Ahmmon finish his education?"
Yeah. For sure. I got my degree. Man, that was one of the first time I seen my dad shed a tear. Wow. Just walking across the stage, and even after everything that happened, like, Coach Ricky, I was able to stay. I was around the team a little bit and stuff like that, and got my degree, graduated in, media management. So I mean, that's one of those things, that will never go away. I got that degree from the University of Miami. And I did stay, graduated. I do know that's a good question, because a lot of guys do, if they end up transferring or go to another school, either credits don't transfer over and stuff happen, they don't end up getting a degree. So I've actually know quite a few guys who end up leaving and they didn't even graduate law. So it essentially like they attended nothing, which is crazy. But I did. I stayed. I battled through, and I got that. I got that thing.
I know this from being in that house, meeting your family. They were extremely proud of you for the direction that you were going in. So I can only imagine you walking across that stage. It had to be I mean, they were already proud of you, but that was a big one.
No, they're definitely happy, man. I mean, I had a lot of cousins, and stuff like that had a lot of potential, but just head wasn't on and stuff. You know how I go, out there, and they just couldn't stay right, and it's just I think it was a little refreshing for my parents to kind of have, like, obviously me go through University of Miami and get a degree, play there, do all that stuff, and then my little brother kind of saw that path, went right behind me, went to Auburn, ended up at UCF, got his degree. Right. So, as a parent, you definitely feel like, you've definitely succeeded. I mean, it's not that many kids that, go Division I and then get their degree and stuff like that. So, they're definitely proud. And, that's what it's about, just looking at them smile and be happy about something. I think any kid, that's what you want to do for your parents. You want to make them happy, for sure.
And like you said, your brother was sitting on that couch, taking it all in. When those home visits, he was sitting on there just taking it all in, waiting for his opportunity. But I will say this again, when I see you, man, I think of greatness because that I mean, for you to be as young as you were and to do what you did, it was very refreshing to see you. And again, all those records that were there. It wasn't you running bubble screens and none of that. You were tearing folks a new butthole,
Yeah.
and there was I just knew you were on to a good thing. And man, I still consider you one of the greatest receivers to play at the University of Miami. You are, and most importantly, a great person.
Yes, sir. No, I
Great
appreciate
person.
it, man. And I really do. I just how I was grew up, man. It's
Yeah.
just you got to be humble.
Yeah.
I'm always like for others. Always try to be like a team guy.
Yeah.
And then just off the field, just being like a good person. I feel like that go a long way, especially in today's world,
Yeah.
where there's not that many people like that. Just trying to be the one person where people
Yes.
can consistently be like, he's actually a cool dude, and that's how I feel. I feel like I like being like the cool person. Just I'm easygoing. I'm not really into like the BS unless you talk about the Hurricanes. Then I'm gonna get on you. Then I'm gonna get on you. But
By the way, Gary, the kid called me coach 4 times today, and I had to say, man, stop calling me that, man.
Listen, I'm like I was like raised with the like not necessarily like yes sir, no sir, but like I got so much respect for anyone older than me that is like I see it's like coach. If I see Gary, I'm like yes sir. Like it's just kind of like it's like embedded in my brain. I don't know. I don't even do it like on purpose. It's just like naturally. I'm like yeah, yes sir, coach. Yeah, no problem. That's just me.
Well, I can tell you this from all the fans, and Gary, we're very proud of you, man. And we,
yes sir.
Again, one of the greatest to put that uniform on. And the ones that know, they know. So we appreciate you, man. And
Yes,
what you have a podcast? You want to talk about your podcast? What night?
Yeah. I got one with Gio. Who wants smoke? We have a shot in a little minute, but we got that one, and then I jump on at Canes Insight on Tuesdays. Talk some Canes football. Like I said, I'm really passionate about the Canes. So like, anytime I get a chance to just talk about the Canes in any way, shape, or form, like it's like if I'm playing a video game or something. It's just fun for me. So
we're gonna have you back. We'll have you back.
Yes, sir. Now I'll be back.
On this show and others.
Yes, sir. Now let me know. I'll pop in, man. I love the show. I'm tuning in. Sometimes I'll be tuning in. I'll be seeing you guys in because it pop up on my X feed at the top. So I'll tune in and listen to you guys because, like I said, I just like hearing anything Canes football, man. It's just like it's like reading a book, man. It's just like that background music. I just like hearing it.
Are we doing all right? Do we do okay on this show?
Yeah. No. It's one of those like late night ones. So like when I'm like relaxing, I'm laying down, I'm kind of unwinding. I hear like the last little bit of the Canes talk before I go lay down.
Well, we appreciate you, and like you said, man, anytime we love to have you on. Again, one of the greatest Canes to put on the orange and green.
Yes, sir.
And you're a good kid, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Wouldn't be possible without you guys, man. The older guys that came before us, man, and paved the way. So, that's how we got here. That's what made the U great. So if it weren't for you guys, I wouldn't even have the opportunity. That's the crazy part.
Well, we thank you, man, for carrying it on. We salute.
Sir. Good seeing you, man.
Always, man. All love, man. Thank you.
Let's get that win this weekend.
I'm gonna be tuned in at 12 o'clock. I'm right on the couch watching.
All right, brother. We'll see you.
I'll be thinking of you while I'm up there freezing my butt off.
Yes, sir. You'll see me on
Twitter. My wife's laughing at me, man. I'm going through my closets, like searching for those long johns.
You're going to the game.
He's going to the game.
Oh, good luck, Brandon. Good luck.
Bring that victory back.
I got thermals, though. I got thermals. I'll be all right.
All right, Ahmmon.
All right,
Good
Ahmmon.
talking to you,
all right, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye. So impressive, LT. I mean, I really meant what I said. I mean, it's like, you do what I do for as long as I have. You've been around so many of you guys and so much greatness. And that kid, the way he handled his adversity is as great as anybody that has played in this program, in my opinion. I have never, ever, ever in the last 10 years or whatever it's been, seen Ahmmon Richards without a smile on his face. And he has every reason. Like he what he would have had. I mean, crazy.
He was on mark to be the best. And it wasn't bubble screens. It was none of that foolishness. This kid was going
He
out
was,
getting it. He
he
was
was going
getting
to
it.
get
And like you said, he said this. There's some guys that I know some guys that their career didn't, and they had better numbers, and they don't even come out. They don't even come around. They don't, they just, they don't want to be seen. They don't want to be labeled as a bust or all that other stuff. But this kid, his attitude, he could have not come around, and he's always smiling, and that's why I always just try to give him his due, because he is one of the greatest receivers to play at Miami.
yeah.
And for the time that he did, it's like when you talk about receivers, let's say the Sterling Sharp, he didn't play as long, but when he played, he was one of the best. And
Mm,
for the little time that kid played, he was one of the best, and
yeah.
that's why he deserves his due.
And for those that don't remember, Ahmmon suffered a neck injury that wasn't going to heal, and he would be risking, if he went out and played football again, he would have been risking paralysis, and
Yeah,
had to make the right decision, which was not to play football anymore. And to see him go through that was just absolutely brutal, and all props to him, man. Just the way he's handled it.
when
And
you get tired, Gary, the Lamar Thomas show, man, that's the guy you need to hire, dog.
yeah,
Yeah, Rich show, the AR show. You know
the
what
AR
I'm
show.
saying? Well,
Hey,
I don't know if we can say that no more.
a couple lingering things I wanted to talk to you about.
Okay.
Carson Beck's been really solid
Mhm.
lately. I forget what the number was in consecutive completions. I don't want to throw a number out because my mind's blank on it, but it was well over 20 and
Yeah.
over 2 games, and he was just completing every ball,
Mhm.
and has really been playing solid football. And he really just had the one bad game this
Yeah.
year, and man, I just shake my head about that Louisville game, because
Yeah.
I don't know how that just happened so fast. And it's like, how was that? Like, how did that happen? It's 4 interceptions, really 5 interceptions
Yeah. Yeah.
in that
They
one
did a
game.
lot. They did a lot of different stuff, and give them, their defensive coordinator and Brom and all those guys. They had a great game plan, and they kept him at happy feet. And when he didn't have happy feet, he tried to force some passes in there, and they made some unbelievable interceptions that they haven't made the whole freaking year after that. Uh, but the thing is, and you got to give our O line credit, because when that kid can sit back there for the most part and throw the ball with no pressure, he's
He's
gonna kill
accurate.
you. He's accurate. He's
He's
very
as good
accurate.
as anybody when there's
Yeah,
no pressure.
yeah. I mean,
When there's
you put a little
pressure,
pressure. You put a little pressure on him. It's not the same.
no,
And he needs guys to, like Notre Dame. We had C.J. Daniels step up and make a hell of a play under pressure, under duress. When he throws off his back foot, he's not as accurate.
no.
Okay, he threw a pass last week, and luckily the linebacker can't catch. Threw it pretty much right to him, but that was off his back foot. He threw another pass to Malachi Tony on the I talked about earlier on the 3rd and 7, down on inside the red zone. That if he just steps into the throw. I don't. It was almost like he was trying to sidearm it, like we saw Cam Ward do, and he missed the throw. Malachi was out there, and I know it was 3 guys. He's going to get that first down,
Mm.
but just a bad throw. So, but like you said, he has been, and they can't put pressure on him. He's going to have a field day, and if they do, the thing that I like, we've had some guys step up now. CJ. We got Upshaw. Some guys have made some plays. We got Josh Moore out there. Malachi is doing his thing. Marion is doing his thing. What's the kid? What's the one that they were waiting for him to come back? Trader,
Yeah,
right?
JoJo.
JoJo. I mean, he's making some plays now. So, and you're throwing it finally to the tight end. He's made two touchdowns. Now, the one thing I can say about the tight ends, I want to see them get better at understanding. And it might have been a little bit of Carson too on the last one, but the tight ends understanding and seeing zone coverage and being able to sit. On the pass to number 87, I thought if he would have sat down, he would have been able to took the hit. He almost he didn't know the defender was behind him, and he was running into that zone. Sometimes give yourself down, catch the ball, turn upfield. He kind of was going to catch it and turn into the defender, not knowing where it was. So I want to see those tight ends do a better job. We've had 2 catches this year dropped by tight ends, not sitting in the zones and understanding man or zone.
Yeah. All right. Pittsburgh this weekend. Like, to me, you got to find ways to disrupt our offense. I think the Canes are going to be able to move the ball on the Pitt defense, and they're going to be able to score some points despite the cold weather. But you can't let it become a track meet. And the key to stopping these guys is making that quarterback hold the ball, like you say, Lamar. Making him uncomfortable back there, which we definitely are capable of doing. We have the personnel to do it. Their offensive line is not very good. So, to me, that's going to be the key is how much disruption can we create at the line of scrimmage? And can we force a freshman quarterback to be overwhelmed the way he seemed to be against Notre Dame?
Correct.
And make mistakes.
Yeah, that's 100%, Gary. We can, we stop the run, force him to have to be able to beat us as a freshman who has happy feet, who has given the ball to the other team. It could be a long day for them. But for us, no pre-snap penalties, no turnovers. I wouldn't say we got to play a perfect game, but we got to continue. Shannon has done a great job. Dawson has done a great job in the variety in this whole offensive thing ever since SMU, keeping defensive coordinators off balance, running the ball. We've run it, but it ain't been the same type of running attack. And then, that opens up the pass, the play action, keeping Carson Beck free in the pocket, untouched. It's been when he's untouched and he's not nervous, he can throw it. He can sling it.
Got to be ready to do it for 4 quarters this week, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
they got a lot at stake too.
Yes, no doubt. They're going to let it all go too. Yeah. Should be a hell of a game. Hell of a game. All right, LT, let's take this thing home with a little word association. Right. Let me start with Pat Narduzzi.
Well, Coach Narduzzi coached against him when I was at Louisville. Good coach. He does. Back then, they ran a lot of TE games. They did a lot of different things with their D line. They've always had pretty decent D linemen, but nothing our O line hasn't seen before. Because our O line should be able to dominate their D line. He'll probably do some different things. I look for them, Narduzzi, to try to bring 5 guys. I don't think their D line will be able to. They shouldn't be able to cause a problem not rushing forward. So, but he's a good coach. He always plays good, solid defense. They just don't have those guys.
He's kind of like stuck in the middle at Pitt, isn't he? Like they win, but they don't win. And
they show signs of flashes. They show like their offense and their defense, and special teams. Every now and then they flash up, and they have those games to make you go, "Wow, Pitt's on to something," and then they go through it.
And they'll get some really good players. Like the Reed kid that's hurt right now was unbelievable. He's from South Florida. He was Miami missed on him.
They've done a decent job of recruiting Florida kids now. That's one thing. They had a kid out of Saki, out of Fort Myers. That was pretty good. They've had some good Florida kids up there. All
right, let me go to cold. I'm just gonna say cold.
I was about to say, who the hell is that? But I know exactly who it is. It's Jack Frost. He's an interesting person when it comes to football. In cold weather, I have fallen in love with the heated seat. I have had some games where I looked at my stats and said, stats don't matter. I don't care. But this is an opportunity for the University of Miami. This is a big game. And for these kids, they have to understand it might be cold, but this is a game that you got to pull together. I mean, that's just the elements. I mean, but the good thing is we got, see, here's another thing people aren't understanding. We got a lot of transfers now. These ain't guys that been here for 4 years in South Florida. Some of these guys were at Wisconsin. Some of these guys were all these places up north. They used to it. They got to BYU. I mean, they used to it now. This ain't the same Miami team. The guys have practiced for 5 years in Miami. They coming from other spots. So we're going to lean on those guys, and we're going to find out what's the best solution for put a little Vaseline on or whatever they do, little sneaky stuff to make yourself feel a little warmer.
That's what somebody in the chat was telling me to do. Put Vaseline all over myself.
I tried that shit.
I'm not putting Vaseline all over myself to go to the Miami Pittsburgh game.
Hey, yeah, don't be P Diddy. Don't be Diddy now. Put that Vaseline, get some stuff in it, and the oil and stuff. Stop that. Stop that.
I'm gonna cheat a little bit here. I'm gonna go 3 words. Line of scrimmage.
Well, the game is going to come down between our O line against their D line, which I think we should dominate. When they're going to have to bring more, and then that's when our receivers are going to step up. And I think our D line against their O line, we don't see the good thing about mine. We really don't need to rush blitz. We don't have to. We run 4 guys in there, and then that third down package where you got Mesidor, you got Blunt, you got Lightfoot, you got Ruben Bain. I mean, screenplays would have been great with Reed in there, but Reed ain't there. And that's the difference. Reed's a guy that could get matched up one-on-one with our middle linebacker, but he's not there. So, we have to win the line of scrimmage on both sides. Linebackers have to have a perfect fit, make some plays. Unlike last week, we had a couple runs they were giving up. I think this week we'll do well. And the secondary will make tackles and get some interceptions. This is an interception week. I would love to see our safeties continue to get interceptions.
You know what's interesting? And obviously we're right there. Like we're excited as hell about what we see from Pringle, right?
Right.
And Pringle's, I wouldn't call him a small. He's a smallish back, but he's not a small back. He's got a little bit more. He's bigger than like an Isaac Brown, for example. But these guys that play for like Louisville and Pitt, these smaller running backs that are fast as hell, that are good, they don't make it through the season.
Yeah, that's the whole difference, and that's another reason why. Again, Petrino, he in that offense, he kind of didn't use them as much. He used them early in the game, and then went to a bigger back at the end to make now they kind of stay a little bit more healthier. You don't use them every play like that. But you're right. A lot of these smaller backs just can't handle it. And you look at Louisville now. For what they were able to do when they played against us, they don't have the same offense because that guy's not available.
He was unbelievable. Yeah. And it's interesting. Pringle was our number 1 back last week. He had, I think, double the carries that Mark Fletcher had. It's like come full circle now. And, Mark Fletcher will probably get a heavier load up at Pittsburgh, I would think. But that was his first game back. But it's just really interesting watching these different dynamics. But that Reed kid was unbelievable, very similar to Isaac Brown. And he won't be out there for Pitt, I don't believe, on Saturday. All right, let's take it home now with Mario Cristobal.
All right, Mario. This is the one. Like Ahmmon said, this is the one that gets this is the hump right here, dog. This is the hump. You end a lot of that talk. You get through this game with a win. A lot of that talk. Because even if let's say that somehow they don't vote us in. Okay, now you're talking about we lost to 2 teams that were pretty decent. Pretty decent. They end up being pretty decent. But you don't make it. But you won out when you had to. When your back was up against the wall, that is a big deal. Now, you went out and we go to the playoffs. You're over the hump. You've shown America, you've shown everybody from Oregon, you've shown all the people that talk bad about you in the Georgia Tech game and the Middle Tennessee game and all that shit that people are talking. This is your opportunity. And for those players to understand this is a chance for you yourself to become put on a whole different level, because your team is now a team that has completed the task if you can win this out. And that's what it's all about, Mario. This is a big game for you. You got to make it happen, man. You got to get that team ready to play. And if you're able to do that, you're over the hump.
Yeah. And I want the real Ruben Bain back, Lamar. I want the
He'll
real
be back.
Ruben out there on
I
Saturday.
say 2 sacks, 2.5 sacks.
I agree.
2.5.
I
We
agree.
win.
Yeah. All right. We got to thank everybody for watching. Let me just change this graphic here for a moment, because we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Okay.
Thanksgiving.
And a lot to be thankful for. And
We already had some turkey last week. We had a little hokey. We had some turkey. So
did you really?
Well, I'm just saying that.
I eat turkey one day. I'm a one day a year turkey guy.
Isn't Virginia Tech they Hokies or not turkey or something?
Yeah, they're
so we had a little turkey last week. Now let's get a little panther. Let's put some panther on the. If you ain't had panther for Thanksgiving, let's have it this Thanksgiving.
It's funny. One of my guys, Luke Cheney, who works for me, he took a couple of days off, and he was out in Colorado, and he and his girlfriend are going around, and they ran into some wild turkeys of all things out there in the middle of Colorado last week. So that was I thought that was a funny story. But anyway, thank you to everybody for watching. If you missed the beginning of the show, it will be online. You can go back and watch the podcast. We want to thank CaneSport for once again sponsoring the show. Remember them on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. They'll have lots of specials for you guys. And they got tons of inventory on Canes gear. Tons. You can load yourself up and find a gift for just about everybody that you need this holiday season. Yeah, that's a nice one. You can find that Lamar hat there at CaneSport, no doubt. Very sharp, very sharp. So that's going to do it for tonight. For Lamar, thank you to Ahmmon Richards for joining us. I'm Gary.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And we'll be seeing you soon. We'll see what happens here this week, and we'll figure it out. But hopefully things fall the Miami Hurricanes' way this weekend, beginning Saturday at noon in Pittsburgh. Have a great day.
Go Canes.